Welcome back, patrons and everyone else, to the Angry Chicken. Feel like we just did this yesterday, maybe because we did. This is episode 106, and this is going to be our Patron Hangout call-in episode for the month of September. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and joining me, as always, is Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Moffat. Welcome back, guys.
Long time.
Yo!
Yeah.
I was muted. I'm a little sniffly, so I might be muting myself here and there.
That's okay.
In case of sneezes and or coughs.
Yeah. So this is our chill hangout episode. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
I guess we can't clink because we don't have a.
Hold on.
We literally cannot cheers each other. Dills has a whole bottle of some. Oh my god, it's like Space Invaders.
What?
Space Invaders Malbec.
That's awesome.
It's
Pretty
not a whole
awesome.
bottle. There's like not that much left.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
But it looks impressive when you drink straight from the bottle.
And the classiest way to drink it is in a plastic cup.
I've been
At
there.
least it's clear, so you know it's super classy. If it was a red plastic cup, you'd have no
No,
idea that
that's
it was
for
wine.
frat
So
boys.
yeah,
Clear plastic
this is
cups.
for classy.
If you're doing wine, it's got to be clear, right? Like that's how it works. It's wine. You have to be able to
Yep.
see the wine that you're drinking.
Exactly.
Wow, that is dark.
Oh,
that is like darker than your beer. I'm assuming. Like,
By the way,
you guys
everyone,
drink Malbecs?
I'm enjoying my Ragnaros pint glass right now. So
Oh, jealous.
it may hit me in the face for 5, or it may hit a Goldshire Footman. Who knows? So
By the way, I watched you did a duo Q&A for a second earlier, didn't you?
very briefly.
We just talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, well,
and I tuned in, and there's Garrett.
Well, basically turned into me going, "Hey Kyle, you want to play some Heroes?" and him going, "Hey Jackass, I've been doing this thing called solo Q&A every Tuesday at this time. Why don't you remember the schedule on your own channel?" And and I go, "Oh yeah, that's right." And he goes, "Well, why don't you just get in here with me? I wouldn't mind an actual healer since I know every single game is going to have Morales." The new meta, because he was playing on the PTR, so I was like, hell yeah, let's get in here. I wanted to test out the new Tyrande anyway.
What did you think?
The verdict is she's just as good as she used to be, but the heal that they added on to Shadow Stalk is not really putting her over the edge to be a solo healer. It's
Okay. That's what people were like kind of concerned about, and I was like, why would that be concerning? It's okay if she's a solo healer.
It's a good thing, because I personally think, as she currently stands, that she shouldn't be a support. Because
they need to make more classifications or something.
Yeah,
that's what we really need to do.
I agree.
Don't think, oh, I'm a healer, and then they're like, no, you're not. You can't heal us at all. You suck.
Yeah. She's gotten better. There was an update to her a couple patches ago that made her heal way better than it used to be, but she's still not a solo healer, not even close. So. Yeah, I don't know. I still love her. She's one of my favorite heroes, but she's really more of a utility hero. So
I might have to get into that PTR after this show.
Yeah, man. I bought Morales and didn't get a chance to try because it was like 10-minute queues. But if you were trying to play Morales,
yeah. If I do the PTR, I'm probably just gonna do stuff like Stitches, Diablo, like all of the tank changes I want to try out.
Yeah.
So, those look pretty sweet.
We're already starting to get calls. And by the way, patrons, if you are watching live, feel free to call in. The information should be about 2 or 3 posts down on patreon.com/TAC. Right now, you just add us on Skype. Make sure you actually send a request first, or it's going to mess up the call. And you heard that card, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Crotch Rocket. That same guy goes by our house at like 120 miles an hour at 3 in the morning. I really appreciate it. So, but anyway, keep calling. Don't stop. And got a first caller right now, the Rational Pie from the chat room, who I just recently modded because he's always here. And
nice.
As his name suggests, he is indeed rational. So, hey Pie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. I love it when you call because it's like I know it's just like he's gonna have the stream muted, he's gonna have his podcast microphone. It's all gonna work out.
Be all ready.
Professional patron right here.
Exactly. I bought everything just so I could do the best call-ins I can.
We appreciate it, man.
That's going above and beyond the Call of Duty, definitely. So, what's your question today, Pi?
Well, I know last month I told you that I had a question like tailor-made for Garrett, so here it is this time.
Snap, I forgot about that. Okay.
Oh, you're screwed.
All right, so have you guys all seen the Hearthrank app that's been, kind of going around? They've been working on it for a while.
I have not.
So this is the custom tournament interface that somebody came up with for kind of, we didn't get tournament mode for Hearthstone, so this guy made his own tournament mode for Hearthstone.
I actually signed up for this, but I haven't participated in any of the tournaments yet.
And
a few people are doing similar
they've
stuff.
been kind of, and I think this week is the week that they're actually rolling out the cash tournaments.
Sweet.
Okay, gotcha. Did anyone else hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I
gotcha.
totally thought it was me. I was like, oh.
Okay, I was just like, am I losing my mind? Okay, sorry, Pi, you kind of cracked up there for a second.
Oh,
but,
I'm sorry.
Continue.
Anyway, so they're rolling out the cash tournaments this week. So the primary format that they're using is actually based on Magic standards. So there's a sideboard.
Ooh.
It's an 8-card sideboard.
8 card. That seems like a lot. Because we're dealing with 30-card decks here. 8 cards. That's you can.
It allows you to put in all of the tech choices, pretty much. You can have your BGH, your Harrison, your anti-secret. You can do all the stuff. That's pretty interesting.
Right. So since there's a sideboard, is it a single deck format?
It is a single deck format.
Okay.
So you can't use your sideboard in the first game, and then you can use it on the next 2 games. So you basically say, I'm coming in with Handlock, and then you have Handlock for 3 games.
Man, I am loving everything I'm hearing right now. This sounds really cool.
Well, now they also have just free fun tournaments too, right? Or is it only I haven't played it at all, so.
Yeah, they have free fun tournaments as well, and those will also get you additional points that you can use for buying into the cash tournaments.
Oh, sweet.
I want to talk to these people. This sounds awesome. How have I not heard about this?
I don't know. Have you been living under a rock?
I've been, yes, and its name is Getting Married. We named the rock.
Pretty big rock.
The rock.
You named the dog Indiana?
I'm actually trying to log into my account right now, but I think I've forgotten my username. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So my question is, I was looking at this list of their tier list for this format, and what was really interesting is that this is the only tier list I've ever seen where Patron Warrior isn't on top. Because there's no room for sideboard cards in a Patron deck. It's just super, super tight. You have to have exactly this much card draw. You have to have these combo pieces. You can't just stick in Secret Hate.
Yeah, the only real tech I see in Patron is things like I run a Brawl for the mirror match, or I run Harrison for the mirror match and stuff like that. But yeah, you don't see Big Game Hunter. There's no real space for any of that stuff. So that's an interesting point.
So my question is, which decks do you think would benefit the most from this sideboard format? Which ones do you think might even just not be viable at all usually, but with the ability to sideboard in stuff, to maybe fight against aggro or to deal with some of the weak matchups? Which decks go from being completely worthless to actually legitimately viable?
My gut reaction is Shaman. I think would kind of notice probably the best kind of night and day difference, because they have so many weird they have so many types of removal. And again, we talked about yesterday about how there's a lot of RNG with a lot of their cards, but I don't know. I could see myself sliding in a lot more of, lightning bolts, forked lightnings, and all of their targeted or semi-targeted removal, depending on the deck if I know exactly the deck I'm playing against. Because those cards are good in certain situations, but they're terrible for the Hearthstone ladder, which is a bunch of best of ones, and you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah. I think I would actually say something along the lines of Druid.
Yeah, Druid is another one.
Because, Druid has this kind of core set of minions and a very strong win condition already. But you can, within that, alter a lot of stuff. If you're playing as a Handlock, you could run BGH, which oftentimes they do, but you could do a second BGH. You can maybe throw in a Black Knight or something like that. You could do some things if it's a faster deck, you can put in Living Roots, maybe even a Starfall or something. There's some options to do some things to take care of aggro and stuff too, and obviously things putting in or taking out things like Ancient of War, but based on the matchup, is really strong as well. There's some decks that just cannot deal with that. You just drop a 5/10 with taunt and they have no way to get through. So I think Druid would be a pretty good solid option. They can keep up with just about anybody. So
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I went with, like I said, I kind of went with Shaman because like for tournaments, I think of like, especially if I can sideboard, I think of like, well, who has the best removal, and Druid has some really good like damage removal, but it's not guaranteed. You know, like a swipe, if it's over 4 health, it's not going to go away. The fact that Shaman has Hex and then can also slot in targeted damage spells, I like that a lot. But also Mage. While I'm on that track, Mage is kind of in a very similar boat.
I could see Mulch being good in Druid, just because if you're going up against a deck that has like huge minions, and you're like, well, I can get rid of your Ysera and give you, you know, basically anything. It's going to be worse than Ysera.
Yeah.
Everything will be worse than Ysera, pretty much.
Plus, there's nothing saying that this is, you know, this type of format is going to do away with aggro. So if aggro is particularly popular and you know you're going up against an aggro, anyone that has a lot of AoE effects is going to be strong too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
you could slot in Flame Strike.
Yeah, exactly, and it goes right back to Druid as well. I mean, you almost never use Starfall, but if you know you're going to be facing just a deck that just craps out minions every turn, you know, you might actually consider playing Starfall plus Swipe.
What do you think, Jocelyn? What deck?
I think probably Priest. I think it's pretty easy with just a couple of cards to go from like your Dragon Priest deck over to something that's a little bit more control-y. You know, change out your small removal cards. Like, you know, you might switch out a Holy Smite for a Shadow Word Pain, depending on, you know, what you're kind of getting into. And those both combo well with your Pyromancer. I think it's pretty easy to change between those two decks. So I think Priest could really, really benefit from that.
I think you'd probably have to decide, though, if you're dragons to be dragons and then just alter, because you have to run, if it's an 8-card sideboard, you can't just like take out all your dragons and then replace them with a bunch of other, like that's not enough. If it was a 15-card sideboard, you could just totally change your minion base.
Yeah.
But I think you kind of have to choose what your minion base is going to be and then go, okay, now I'm just going to switch out like what my removal is, you know.
I think you could legitimately switch from playing Hybrid Hunter to Mid-Range Hunter or Mid-Range Hunter to Face Hunter.
Oh, absolutely. Hybrid is like right in the middle enough that you could tilt either direction. You have to pick which one you're going to move towards, so you have to decide, like, am I going to switch to Face if I need to, or am I going to switch to straight up Mid-Range? I really wish there was like a real viable control hunter that could speed up, because that would, I think, be really good too. You know, because you have a hero power that's going to, you know, be able to race people, right? And if you realize it's a really slow deck, maybe you can keep your slow deck and just use your hero power to actually be the win condition. And then if it's, you know, a deck that you need to keep up with, you just get faster. So
yeah, it's a deck that you can slow the game down but still keep the opponent on a clock, which that's kind of tough.
Yeah, no other class can really do that. I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but they were like, Hunter is like 3 cards away from having that as a viable option where you don't care about ever hitting face because you just press a button that hits face. So the rest of your deck can be completely built around just controlling the board and just dealing with threats. And we just don't quite have all the tools we need yet to do it. You know, like maybe they're missing like a 4-mana weapon or something like that.
Yeah, there are quite a few archetypes that are in that sort of like 2 cards away space.
Yeah, it's one more set. Things are going to get real weird. So have you tried this yet? I'm actually updating it right now, it looks like.
Yeah, I tried. I played one match. The problem is that like until they get the cash tournaments going, nobody really cares. So I was able to do just one match to make sure that everything worked, and I went up against a Mill Rogue, which was kind of interesting.
All right.
And I was playing a Face Hunter deck, and my sideboard basically just got rid of everything weapon related and trap related. So I pulled out my Mad Scientist, I pulled out my traps, I pulled out my Eagle Horn bows, and I just replaced it with like more minions and things like that. And the idea there was just that people are going to tech in weapon hate. They'll tech in, you know, Acidic Swamp Oozes and Harrison Jones. And if I take the targets for that out of my deck, they just slotted in a bunch of useless cards. And I just put in a bunch of other things.
So
that
essentially,
I can use.
it's like a zoo hunter at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You just have a curve of nothing but minions. That's really
that's the interesting thing about this is that the other guy's going to sideboard. So how do you combat the sideboarding that they're going to do? And then you just get like this interesting back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm very curious. I want to try this. It says apparently checking for updates for like the last 3 minutes, but we'll see.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Pi. After the honeymoon, I'm gonna totally get in on some of these. This sounds amazing.
Yeah, I hope it catches on. It's just there aren't enough people online yet, but I think they're going to really make a big push like in the next week to get this off the ground.
Well, I'm going to promote the crap out of it, if nothing else than for selfish reasons, because I want to play in one of these when I can find some free time on a weekend.
There's a few other services that are kind of doing something like this. And actually, I met a guy who works for something called Esports Hero. And I don't think they do like tournaments. They just do like you can play essentially a cash match against one other guy, like a best of 3. And it had like a coin system, and like 1,000 coins was worth like $1. So it would be like 2,000 coins you buy in, and then you play a guy, and then I guess you just win winner take all minus, whatever their cut is. And it sounded kind of an interesting idea, but again, I think their problem right now is there's just not people doing it. You got to get to that point where there's just a big player base before something like this can really be, because if you want to do this, you want to sit down and spend some time on it, right? Play a bunch of matches. So.
Yeah, you don't want to sit there waiting for a match for half an hour.
Yeah, that's the tough breakthrough, because this is a new thing. This is a new concept, really. So, maybe if we talk about it, maybe we can help them get this off the ground.
I hope so. This sounds exactly like the kind of thing I was looking for. So, I'm excited. I love it. In their I found their website, in their official write-up, they reference the Brian Kibler article. That's great. So, well, thanks, Pi. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Well, we'll let you go. We're going to grab the next guy in here. Or
Cheers.
gal. I don't know. Maybe it's a girl named Justin.
By the way, we were talking on the show yesterday about like sending in like their games, and somebody tweeted at me today. There's something called plays.tv that allows you to record your gameplay and save it on their servers and send it in. So I might start actually doing something like that.
Ooh.
Hearthstone
That's
replays.
pretty cool.
That would be really cool. Super cool, actually. Justin, can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can. I see this lovely picture of you and Mr. Chris Metzen at what I think looks like Snowbird.
That's at BlizzCon there.
Oh, it's at BlizzCon. Okay.
No, I
All
thought
right.
it was Snowbird too, Garrett.
It's that brown like wooden roof, man.
Yeah.
It's the what is that? The Hilton right there? Yeah, the bar.
See, I don't know what the Hilton normally looks like, because I'm used to looking at it like from the floor, from the ground down, or the balcony down, and it's just a sea of people.
Oh, I thought you meant like from the floor up. I was like, Garrett, no, I was the one that was actually drunk in the Hilton at BlizzCon, not you.
Well, thanks for calling in, Justin. What did you want to talk about?
First off, before I get into my question, how ready are you guys for the new season?
The new season?
Yeah.
The most unready I think I've ever been, because we're moving into. I feel like I just keep mentioning the damn wedding, but it's next month, so it's like all I'm thinking about, and I've put like no thought. This is like I'm just like I have no idea, because like the beginning of this season I'm like, yeah, Dragon Priest, I'm doing it, let's go, and then
I just hate the end of the season. Chaos.
Yeah.
The end of the season is chaotic. Right now, people are playing all sorts of weird stuff because nobody really cares about their rank anymore.
The beginning's
It's a good time to test things, and I will say that now that they put the rewards in and you can't lose rewards, right? Once you've achieved your rank, it does encourage people to do this. So it might be even more Wild Westy right now than we're used to. But it's interesting.
Does someone need to run from a nuclear bomb?
Oh. No, it's my phone.
Oh, I hear that too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, what?
Okay. Well, my actual question was the esports and how it's working now. I thought I understood it. Like last year up to BlizzCon I did. It was just the point system. This year, once they added the regional, if you guys could just go ahead and run down and clear up how that works.
You talking about for the Hearthstone World
BlizzCon?
Championships and stuff?
Yeah.
The BlizzCon stuff? So, yeah, people earned points throughout the entire season. Then out of the people who earned the points, the top 23 of them were qualified. It's like a super weird number. Were qualified for these regional tournaments, and then everybody else who had at least 2 points could go to like a last call, like last chance kind of tournament, and then those people could then qualify for like the remaining whatever it was spots. I guess like 5 spots or something, and then they had like a big double elimination thing. That's for each region. That then got them down to 8 players from each region, who then now go and do another 24-person double elimination tournament. Or no, now they do little mini 8-person ones.
Yeah, they're 8-person
Sorry,
ones
to get
now,
down to 4.
And then
Oh,
those
God.
16 go to BlizzCon.
So I don't see how you got this confused,
How did you
man.
get
I mean, this
confused?
is...
Well, last year wasn't it just whoever had the top points made it for
Well,
the
they did have
BlizzCon?
regionals last year.
No, they
too.
still had
Oh,
regionals
they
last
still
year.
did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're at right now. So we already have the Chinese players who have qualified. There's
Yes.
4 of them. So there's 4 from each region that are going to move on to BlizzCon. But we still have 8 players in each, the Americas, the European, and the Asia Pacific regionals that need to battle it out to find the top 4. So that's what we're waiting on now. So we're going to have the Americas on October 10th. We're going to have the European regionals on October 3rd. We're going to have the Asia Pacific regionals on October 2nd. And that will yield us our top 4 from those 3 regions to make our top 16s from our top 16 from the world that are going to be battling it out at BlizzCon.
Correct. Yeah. And last year they didn't have the point system. The difference was basically you like qualified based on ladder performances pretty much only and got into the tournament, but yeah, it was a weird system.
It was really, really hard to follow last year in terms of just like who got into like the last call tournaments and all this stuff. I think you had to hit legend, was it once or twice to qualify for the last call one last time?
You had to have the legend card back to play in it.
Okay, yeah.
But then you basically were just trying to finish like top 100 or whatever to top 16 in a season to qualify to then go to the other tournament. So it was just.
Yeah.
Then they had this like giant list of people that had to play.
Yeah.
And was just
seems
weird.
it seems complicated this year, but at least I feel like this year is more transparent than last year. Last year it was just kind of like, and now we're BlizzCon, yay!
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I think we're seeing a whole lot more like behind the curtain. We're seeing like what everybody's points were going into last call and everything else. And, on top of that, we had points assigned from tournaments, which also made it a little bit more complicated because you could play in esports outside of ladder and get big chunks of points. So seems more complicated, but possibly maybe a better measure of how somebody's actually performed during the year leading up to the championships. So, I mean, that's up for debate. There's all kinds of like how Blizzard screwed up the World Championship stuff, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Blizzard
not
always
everyone's
screws
very
up.
happy.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff aside, I still feel like there could be some type of more streamlined system that's easier to follow and could get everyone a little more excited about it because, like, like listening to Dills try and explain it in a nutshell, like it sounds borderline insane.
Yeah.
I would love to see all of it kind of done in game, and that's another one of the many reasons why I do want a tournament mode. And I was talking to somebody about this at TwitchCon, where I would love it if you had like ladder points that counted, and then you like essentially had in the tournament mode BlizzCon satellites, and you could attempt to play in these and attempt to win your way in through just tournament play if you felt like ladder play wasn't going to do it for you. And then you had like some sort of a combination of the two of those things. So you had people who had really strong finishes on ladder who were qualified, and then you had people who just won their way in through a series of tournaments that were in the client. And then when you actually got down to it, then they would start running these LAN events, right? Because I think right now it's a little bit funky when you get the stuff where it's the Seat Story Cup and you get a bunch of guys invited and they just have a clear advantage. And I would rather those just be like entities on their own, and then the BlizzCon one is all done like through Blizzard and through the game itself.
Right.
So that they're a little bit separated from each other.
It'd be nice that if all of the tournaments that yielded WCS points had the exact same format. Like it was just all open. Like if you want to do a tournament that gives WCS points, okay, it's a 64 player open tournament. Done.
Yeah.
sealed, signed, and delivered.
And the thing is, if it was in the client and you could just be at home and be like, all right, let's try to qualify for BlizzCon, and it could be really hard to do. Obviously, you know, it'd have to be like you have a bunch of people, and then you could like wing your way into some later down the season tournament or whatever. And then it would just be something that like, okay, I'm going to try to qualify for BlizzCon. I'm going to sit down on my computer and do it, and not like, yeah, I show up at Seat Story Cup because I'm a Maz or Orange or Trump or Firebat or whatever, you know, and now I have a ton of points. Right?
Yeah.
I just think that's a little bit awkward, and I get that they want big names at the final tournament, but I think you're going to get those anyway because these guys are really good at Hearthstone, right? So
exactly. I like the zero sum game. It's just like, well, if you're good, you'll move on. Like, like that's how it should be. And I'm not saying that's how I don't think it is at the moment. It's just it's hard to follow. It's hard to build a storyline around. I'm right there with you guys, and I honestly I think it's strange that the ranked mode can kind of one for one feed into WCS because it's nothing like a tournament in no way, shape, or form.
Completely different. Yeah.
So it's just
you
not
got a
like,
guy like Fibonacci who just crushes everybody with Control Warrior, but doesn't play anything else, and he gets top.
He gets
one
into Conquest, and
so
he's like,
good.
What?
Yeah. He's like, wait, so I can't win all of my games with Control Warrior? Actually, if he was in the era of last year and he'd actually qualified, he might have had like a decent chance because there he actually could win all 3 games with one deck. So I'm actually hearing people complain about that too. Are you guys still like on board with Conquest? Do you think it's better, or have your guys' positions on that changed at all?
I think it's better than last year, like black and white. Sorry, Jocelyn.
I think it's interesting. I mean, I find it entertaining to watch a Conquest tournament much more than I did to just watch the same player play the same deck over and over and over again. I mean, that being said, everyone brings Patron, which is almost the exact same idea. You know, you're seeing everybody play the same deck and you're seeing the same matchups over and over again right now. But so I'm still on board with that in terms of actual tournament play. Don't know how I feel about it in terms of just the world championships in general. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't really know how best it is to kind of gauge who the best Hearthstone player in the world is. I mean, you don't necessarily want somebody who just specializes in one deck, but at the same time, you're losing out on a lot of talent by making them switch it up. So, yeah, I don't know how to fix that and how to actually find, like, the best player in the world. I don't know. But I'm still on board with it from a tournament standpoint. I do like that, but it's completely different than ladder, so I don't necessarily think it's fair in that way.
Yeah, it's a weird disconnect. They're riding this line of being accessible and being kind of easy to pick up, and also having an esport around it. And at some point, I feel like they need to pull the trigger and acknowledge the fact that okay, well, we do have a hardcore scene that's very competitive. We should add something to the game that more directly represents that portion of the audience.
Yeah.
And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I'm just like, you know what? Why shouldn't they be allowed to specify in one specific deck if that's like what they want to play? Because if you think about it, whoever the StarCraft world champion is, they're usually like a Zerg player or a Protoss. Like, they don't have to master and beat everybody with all 3 races. They have their specialty and they rock face and they win and they're world champion. So
and it's a huge deal if they switch races at some point in their career.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like if that's acceptable in other, and it's the same thing with like if you want to look at like Dota or League, like you usually have people who play one specific role, and when they switch heroes, they do so because of, you know, meta changes or whatever, but they're still in that role. It's not like they make their, you know, like, I don't know, ADC switch to support or something, you know, like they still have their one specific role. So yeah, I mean, why should Hearthstone be any different? Why should we make them like learn a third of the game and master a third of the game if really they're a hunter player or a warrior player or a rogue player?
It's true, and the problem though is that then you got a deck that's like totally broken, and then Blizzard would have to make sure that, you know, there's no broken deck, right? So like they would have to, like right now I think it gives them a little leeway where they can go, Patron's okay. Like, we'll live with Patron because it's only ever going to win you one game, right?
Yeah.
So it does kind of, it gets them off the hook a little bit, but it does also make, you know, you can't have specialists, right? So like Zalay, if he could only pay Patron, would probably win a lot more tournaments, right?
Yeah.
But the fact is he also has to like play a druid or whatever and try to win with that too. So it's tough, and I don't think there's a perfect format yet, but I think this is closer, and I still believe that. I think that, last year I would have said, oh, this is so much better. This is probably the way it should always be. And now after a year of watching these Conquest tournaments, I'm leaning a little bit more towards we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We're closer, but we're not there yet.
I say more formats.
Yeah.
Why do we have to have just one? Why do we have to have one format to rule them all? Why can we have the Conquest championship champion and the single deck champion and the arena champion?
And you could know that, like that's the way it works in a lot of games, and like this guy is really good at this, and he's the best at that. And then you can have arguments about who the overall best player is and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah. Justin, thank you so much for your question, man.
All right, thanks for taking my call.
Yay, esports.
Have a good one, man.
All right, you too.
Alrighty. This gentleman's been calling since the very beginning. Can you hear us, Nick?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
You sound excited, sir.
I am pretty excited. Mr. Dills, I'm sorry I cannot join you at game night again. That was a good deal of fun.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait
hey,
a minute.
what's
Nick,
up, man?
Nick, do we meet
Good to see you.
Do we meet
We
at
gotta
BlizzCon
finish
last
our
year?
match.
I know, right? Yeah, one day.
Yeah, so we were playing against each other, and the internet was so terrible that everybody just kept getting DC'd in the middle of games.
Oh,
and I just ended up saying, you know what? I forfeit. I can't do this. I just got up and left. It was terrible. But
So
man.
Nick beat Dills then. That's what you're saying?
He did.
He did.
Nick was the
Well
official
done.
winner.
A lighthearted question for you folks. Gun to your head, you are forced to get, or you choose to get, a Hearthstone tattoo. What is that Hearthstone tattoo going to be?
I would get, and actually I was thinking about actually doing this for a really long time, so I would get the Hearthstone, like the little swirl on the inside of my ring finger. Married to the game, bitches.
Wow. That is intense.
Oh, that is amazing.
I would get a little tramp stamp of the little shop button.
I would
How many packs do you get by pushing that button?
We'll have to find out.
Oh wow.
You gotta double click it, and then you can select how many. Yeah.
I would get a shielded mini bot right above my nether regions because Divine Shield would protect me from crotch shots. That's what I would get.
It's going to be a painful casting cost.
Yeah. No. I mean, as far as tattoo, I've actually considered getting the swirl somewhere. Just because.
Swirl would be cool.
Yeah.
You could also get like the full-on Hearthstone box on you somewhere.
Yeah.
I
I more. I feel like me personally. I really like more organic looking tattoos, and the box is so boxy.
Yeah.
It is a little boxy. Yep.
But
as boxy as it gets.
Yeah.
You could get like the Hearthstone logo around your belly button.
Oh my God! The swirls around your nipples.
Oh my God.
Both of them. Oh, that's great.
What about you? I want to hear Nick's answer now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like either go whole hog and it's the Hearthstone sleeve with heroes and magic and fun cards flying this way and that, or some of the weapons are pretty cool. Fiery War Axe would be pretty awesome, but I don't know if you would make it look like a card. Also, all of the art is so different. So I don't know how you make that all work together.
It would also be really cool because people have like the ace tattooed on the wrist, so it looks like they have an ace up their sleeve. Have a card back with the legendary glow, so you always have a legendary up your sleeve.
That's actually
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah.
That'd be really neat. That'd be really cool. If that isn't, if that wouldn't be, one of the most painful damn places to get a tattoo.
Yeah, that's true.
I probably have one already.
I'm sure there's like a 18-year-old waif of a girl who has one that is showing us all up on what's manly
on pain, suffering,
on suffering,
I have. It's funny. I have a deep-seated, horrendous phobia of needles in just any way, shape, or form. I can't stand going to the doctor. But I also
do you have tattoos?
I don't, but I direly want them. Really, the only thing keeping me away from them is the price. It's expensive to get tattoos, and I also do art, so I'm a total snob, and I would refuse to. I would research the hell out of it, and I'd probably end up going to a really expensive artist.
You could design your own too, and I mean,
you can.
There's tons of guys out there who are just insanely good, and I don't think you'd be disappointed. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm the same way. Like I've wanted more over time in my life, but I've always just been like, oh, but I could also use like something else that costs $500 right now. So, tattoo or the other thing that I want, and it's always prevented me. But I don't know. Now I'm like regretting some of those times because whatever I did get is long gone. And if I had gotten the tattoo,
gone.
I'd still have it. You know?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we're hobbyists too, though, so there's always something asking for our money.
True.
That's a good point. I have way too many expensive hobbies.
When I got my first and only, I said at the time, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to be one of those people who's just like, oh, I have one tattoo. No, I'm going to get all the tattoos because it's so addictive and all the rest of it. And I'm just like, nope, I've got my one. I love it. It's meaningful. Done. And now I'm just like, oh, but what if I did this? Oh, what if I did this? And I'm like, no, must stick to principles and stuff.
I think
I want so many more.
I think at some point, and maybe not this BlizzCon, but maybe the following BlizzCon, I think we should all just go get Hearthstone tattoos.
All right.
I think at some
Why
point.
don't you want to do it at this BlizzCon? It would be so good.
Because weddings are expensive.
I was gonna say,
But
it's
it
the
wouldn't be
perfect
that
time.
expensive
Your
to
wedding will
all
be
get-
done.
Like
It wouldn't be that expensive to all just get the like actual like the Hearthstone itself.
A little
somewhere.
swirl
It should
somewhere.
be a
Like a small-
Patreon goal.
Oh, there you go. Patreon goal. We all
Post
get
wedding
Hearthstones.
tattoos.
And
Yeah.
we have we'll have Katie record it on a camera, like, and everyone's just like totally taking it like a man, and I'm in the corner just crying, just bawling my eyes out. Oh, that'd be great.
It's actually not that bad. It's
not that bad.
It's just annoying. It's like it's not painful. It's just uncomfortable. You're just kind of sitting there, just like, I can't wait till this is done. And that's
Kind of feels like a sunburn,
Okay.
yeah.
like an instant sunburn.
All right. I can rock that.
Depends on
And
where.
as soon as you're done, it doesn't really hurt anymore. So.
Yeah, Nick,
Yeah.
that's also what I've heard. It's highly dependent on the location of the tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing it on your shin. That's real.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Nick, you got some tattoos, right? What do you got? Let's see.
I'm a committed tattoo. It's a slippery slope. You know, you get started and then
Yeah.
when do
See,
you
that's
stop?
the thing. I don't want to fall down the slope.
Well, this
It's
is
really
actually
it's a delightful slope. So
yeah. There you go. This is all of my friends now. At this point, like they all started getting tattoos when we were all 18. Some of them before, but at this point now I go see them and I'm just like, if you wanted one, you have no place to put one. Like you just completely covered it all. And like my friend Eric is just everything, front, back, all the way up his neck and all that. And he loves them, and he's like, yeah, I don't regret a single one, man. And he's the kind of guy who will like go swing by the tattoo shop and then be like, hey, why don't you like put a spider on me right here or something, like just as he's hanging out. He had no intention of getting a tattoo that day.
sounds like someone you could probably convince to get a Hearthstone tattoo, whether or not he's played the
Whether
game.
he plays it or
Show
not.
him some amazing Hearthstone art.
Like, but look how cool this looks. He's like, oh yeah, it looks cool. Let's put it on your body.
Look at Medivh, man. Look at that art. It looks great. Like,
Oh, I'm proud of you, Eric. You said the name right. Good job.
Thank you, Bills. Thank you so much. Oh man.
Well, when am I going to see you at game night again, man? Are you going to be able to make it?
I am back in my home base, our nation's capital, some of our nation's capital, Washington D.C. So.
All right. Well, next time you come out or I make it out there, we'll have to hook up, man.
That is a deal. I'll try to catch up in Austin.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yep. You guys have a nice evening.
Have a good one, Nick.
Dude.
Thank you for making me want a tattoo again.
Wedding present.
Oh, awesome. People stopped calling. We had a bunch of calls and died off. So I'm gonna try and track these people down and pull them into
That
this.
guy was so fun to hang out with at game night. He was talking about how he really liked the show and stuff, and then we just started playing Hearthstone. And he was just super cool to chill with. I was disappointed we couldn't finish our match, man.
I don't know, man. I mean, from just talking to him right now, he seems a little uptight and like I wouldn't want to just share a beer
Yeah,
with
right.
him. Like he doesn't seem like we'd be instant friends. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant the opposite of everything I just said. Justin, welcome to the call. Can you hear us?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I think Dills
Can you
approves
see my
of
video?
your. I cannot see your video, but I believe Dills approves of your avatar.
Yes, go
Yes,
Giants.
I do. I totally do. So that's you're on the field. What is that, a special like picture day, or did you just jump over the banister with your baby? How did this work?
Yeah, jumping over, then getting kicked out. That'd be awesome.
While holding a baby.
Yeah. Was
best
the
dad
baby
ever.
like thrown to you, or did you jump
Yeah,
with
that's
the
not
baby?
even my
like,
baby. Somebody
yes. Someone just
Yeah,
threw
she
their
just
baby at me.
It was a foul
No, it was
baby.
like
I caught it, so I got to keep it. It's the rules.
Yeah. It was like a Sunday afternoon. You can have your kids run the bases type of things.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Cool.
they still do that. So I found a picture the other day, and my mom ended up posting it to Facebook. It's me and Bob Brenly at Candlestick Park, because they used to do this thing where you could come out, like everyone would be standing around the edges on the warning track, and the players would just walk around, and the kids could come on the other side of this little rope and take pictures. And so I did this, I guess, when I was like 5. And they used to do that every year. It was called like Picture Day. And the players would just walk around. Now they don't do that anymore, but they still do the kids running around the bases thing, which is cool, I guess.
It'll be pretty fun.
They still do that at the Rays Stadium.
Oh yeah, the Picture Day thing?
Yeah, they do that.
That was awesome. I'm going to the game tomorrow, by the way. I need the Giants to win tonight and then not lose tomorrow, because I really don't want to watch the Dodgers celebrate on my field.
If they had a pool, they'd be jumping in the pool.
Oh,
and
God,
stuff.
yeah. That was, yeah. Sorry to the Diamondbacks that year.
Yeah. So, anyways, I sent an email to you guys last week saying thank you for everything. You guys are doing such a great job. I love the podcast and everything. And through the tournaments that you guys have been running, my students are getting into it. I teach high school statistics.
Oh,
And
nice.
we're playing every day at lunch, and we are holding our own tournament right now. We're like in the semi-finals and stuff, so it's been pretty fun, pretty exciting.
That's really cool. So are you, do you teach like probabilities and things like that using arcane missiles and stuff? Let me show you how
I
this
will
works.
be using a lot of Hearthstone when I do the probability part, yes.
Oh, that's cool, man.
I wish I had you in high school, man. I would have done so much better in math. Maybe, I don't know. My math teacher was pretty nice and tutored the crap out of me, and it still didn't work.
I don't really have very many questions. I always watch these, and I'm thinking of a question, and so I never call.
Well, how dare you, sir? We are going to hit
Go
the button.
Giants!
We're going to
There
hit
you
the
go.
button, and a
Where do you
trapdoor
teach?
underneath you will open.
So say that again. I'm sorry.
I think Garrett was talking, but I couldn't hear him. What were you saying, Garrett?
Oh, I was just making a joke. I said if you don't have a question, we're going to hit the button, and the trapdoor underneath you will now open. But no, Dills asked you, Justin, where do you teach?
Sanger High School in Central California.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
But are you from the Bay Area and then moved that direction?
No, just right in the middle near Fresno, and
Okay.
you got to pick either Dodgers.
Yeah, you got to pick one side or the
Giants.
other, and you chose the right side. Good job, man.
I chose the right side. I don't know if you guys have made any comments about Colin Cowherd, the
Oh, we have.
hater,
Oh yeah.
Oh, we have.
recently, but he got fired about a month ago or so.
Yeah, because he's a racist.
Yeah, he was talking about Dominicans
Shockingly.
and all this crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who'd have thunk
So
it?
now he's landed
Who
on
would
his.
think he's intolerant?
Who would think that a like fourth-rate sports pundit who made fun of wrestlers for dying would also be a racist?
Didn't see
She's
that
trying too hard to be like edgy, I think, and
Yep.
the problem is that he's actually not naturally funny. So he just had like a new thing where he made fun of esports again, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah,
D-Day linked me the video today.
I specifically didn't watch it because I refused to give this guy any more effort of my.
Well, it's funny because his other videos on his channel have like 200 views, and this one has like 18,000. So this might spur him
And
on
just
to
as
like
many,
continue.
downvotes.
No, that's
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
why he's doing it, because the only thing that's
Yeah.
getting him is attention. He's a talentless hack, and this is the only way that he gets any attention, which is why I want to just stop giving him any feedback.
Yeah, no, all of his jokes were just the standard. It was like watching,
Yeah.
like, when you watch, again, I'm bringing up The Office again because I'm watching it all the time. But, like, you watch The Office and Michael Scott makes the obvious joke and then, like, smiles like, hey, I thought of the obvious joke everyone always says. He said, no girls have ever been in my room. I'm eating Hot Pockets. I still live with my
Yeah.
mom. Like he just went through like all of the old hack
Way
jokes about
old,
gamers.
stereotypical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what he doesn't realize, he's actually just like, he's just making himself look like an old man who's out of touch. And you're just like, I'm sorry for you. You don't even know
Yeah.
like how irrelevant you are. And it's yeah. And he's got this like girl on his show who I guess is her whole job is to like laugh at him.
Laugh at him, yeah. Laugh at his jokes, and
Yeah.
You know, we tried that. We tried that with Jocelyn, but she just couldn't keep her awesome opinions about the game to herself.
Just couldn't keep my mouth shut.
Eventually, we're like, fine, talk.
Jeez, God. I guess, Jocelyn. Jeez.
But yeah, no, I watched the thing today. He's whatever. I don't know. He means nothing to me.
He's a terrible human being.
Yeah,
He is. He's not good at all.
it's
Yeah.
really funny too because the world is just different now. Like now, you know, look at a guy like Scott Johnson. You know, grew up playing video games and father of multiple people, and you know, upstanding member of society.
Multiple people.
Yeah, but I'm
Father
just saying,
of
like,
multiple
that's what we
people.
are now. Like the people who grew up playing video games are now
Yes,
fathers.
fathered multiple
and soon
people.
they'll be yes.
His children
soon
are
they will
indeed.
be soon they will be like in more positions of power, and all this is not going to mean anything. Like, you know, it's going to be completely turned around because it's anything that's new and different. The people who aren't used to it like don't understand it and are kind of scared of it, and that's, you know, and then they all die. That's like how the world works. And then the new people come in. That's fine.
Just to clarify, Dills was not threatening anyone.
I'm not necessarily wishing death upon this terrible
Yes,
person.
No, but I'm
But-
It's
acknowledging
just the
that it
natural
happened.
order of things. You will all die.
Just a lighthearted opinion about the world. Yeah, that's all.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
I don't think I want him to die. I'm just saying that if he did, I wouldn't really be mad.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no, we talked about it at length on Into the Nexus because the last time he opened his idiotic mouth, it was in direct reference to Heroes of the
Oh, yeah.
Dorm.
Heroes of the
Yeah.
Dorm. Yeah.
So he's just an idiot. Like, just stop giving this man headlines, please.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Well,
Like, we don't need his approval. We don't want his approval. He's not catering to us. He's catering to his delusional audience. So why do we care?
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I also don't think like he's not gonna go away. He's gonna keep doing what he does because he's got his audience. So I think it's fine to like acknowledge it and say, yeah, I think this is stupid and I disagree with it. Because then we have a voice too. You know what I mean? Like it's not just the guy with the microphone.
Well, and we have a rational, sane voice. Like, as long as we just say, like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. End of story. Like, yes, I see
Right.
another video. Yes, his opinion's still the same. Yes, he's still wrong. End of story. As opposed to going all flamey at him, go all flamey at him and he wins. So
Yeah.
having a sane,
Well, the
rational,
reason-
disguised an idiot opinion is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, recently there was a very not quite the same level, but there's a similar thing going on with Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes, although I think that was a joke.
Well, yeah. Well,
Like, I really think that this cowherd guy actually, like, he believes what he's spewing. Jimmy Kimmel, I
right?
think, is
But
just,
people got very bent out of shape about the Jimmy Kimmel comments as well, and it's like, well, no, it's okay when this stuff happens. First of all, everyone just chill out because it makes us look all of us look like we just have zero sense of humor and cannot like see the funny part of what we enjoy.
Yeah. I acknowledge it. I see it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see that sitting on your butt and being like kind of chubby can still make you, you know, an esports star, and that's funny. I get that. But I mean, the thing, you know, but I also see the truth about what sports are, and that is at one point some dude made up a game. He was like, hey, if
Yeah.
I pick up this stick and then I hit this ball and you try to catch it and then I run around this field, wouldn't that be fun? And then everyone was like, oh, okay, we'll do that. And now we take it so seriously, right?
Yeah.
But what's different about that than like being really good at pushing buttons and strategizing about it? Like, I don't know. It's just they're not seeing that.
Yeah.
They look at this and they go, that's stupid because this is
It's
real.
new.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
they're both real. They're both real things. They
Yeah.
both take effort and they're hard to do. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone can perform at the same level.
And at
Therefore,
least
competition.
And at least for at this point in time, esports fans are not putting on a pedestal people who have committed acts of domestic violence. At least we have that.
yeah. We still haven't had, White Raw punch his fiance in an elevator yet.
All right, first of all, that would never happen. White Raw is a saint. You take that back. He is like the nicest guy in esports.
Just saying, that never happened.
Now, if you said Naniwa, I'd have been like, yeah, I could see that happening. but you leave White Raw alone, man. You take a step back.
Did you hear about Firebat? He just got arrested for DUI and he had a gun in the car. No, that didn't happen, actually.
No, he'd be putting stuff on fire.
Yeah. The worst thing Firebat's done so far is I think he burnt a pizza in the Archon house one time and they put it on Twitter. Biggest Hearthstone controversy.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, Justin, man, thank you for calling in and thanks for supporting the show.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Go Giants.
Go Giants. All right, looking like it's going to be our last call for the evening. Sparky Shocker, who actually hasn't connected yet.
Oh, no.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Sparky, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Or I guess I just
to
asked
hang
you.
out tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I had a little panic attack trying to find the tickets earlier.
Oh, no.
I found them.
Okay,
They
good.
were in between my paychecks in my drawer.
I'm having a panic attack just about tonight's game because, of course, it's Kershaw and
Mad
Bumgarner
Bum.
tonight?
Yeah.
That would be a good one. That'll be a 3-hour panic attack for me.
Yeah. So you guys were just comparing esports with real sports. So I'm gonna ask if anyone's played the new Madden yet.
No, I haven't.
Not a sports gamer.
That's my guilty pleasure game. And then when they added Ultimate Team to it, it got even better, I think. And that's like card-based fantasy football.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I used to play the hell out of Madden, but now I don't have a console anymore that I actually play on, and I can't really imagine playing it. I guess I can play it on my PC, right? I have a
Just
controller,
get an Xbox controller.
Yeah, no, I have one. That's how I play like GTA 5 on here. But
okay.
I guess like just once I switched to that, the type of game I purchased has changed, right? Like when I was younger growing up and all I really played on was consoles, it was all about fighting games and sports games and stuff like that. Yeah. And then like as I moved into PC games, now it's all about, adventure, RPGs and all that kind of stuff. So it's not that I wouldn't play Madden, it's just that somehow I just don't anymore.
Yeah, so the reason I bring it up is because they added a new mode to Ultimate Team that is a lot like an arena draft, where you get 15 rounds of a draft. You're picking one player over 3 other players based on your team's needs and their stats compared to what the base deck you are offered. Mm-hmm. And then you go and try to win 4 games with it. And if you get 4 games, you get better rewards and stuff like that. And I'm starting to see a lot more of these types of games starting to pull from stuff that Hearthstone's on, or maybe even I really didn't pay attention to card games before Hearthstone. So I wonder if this is something we'll see continuing going forward, different game types sharing features from one another.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think Hearthstone has proven itself as a success, and once you prove yourself as a success, everybody tries to copy you, right? So, like if you look at the new Magic Duels, the Magic game, the Duels game that you can play on the computer, they now have quests and stuff that if you win like 2 games with a green-white deck, you'll get 40 gold or whatever that you can then spend on packs. And that's a complete departure from how they used to do it. And the older, like the Magic 2014, 2015, all that stuff, where you would earn cards by beating bosses and going through the story mode, essentially. So, yeah, like a lot of people are going to start copying the Hearthstone model for sure. And it's cool that we're seeing another game. But do you remember, which Final Fantasy was it?
I had no idea you played Final Fantasy.
No idea. Like, we can't help you, dude.
I didn't know you played Final Fantasy. No,
Final Fantasy X had like a card game in it too, I think. But so
did it?
It's not like it's totally new. Maybe it wasn't 10. Maybe it was. But there was one where like you had like a card game.
10 is like the only one I've dabbled in. I actually played a little of 10. Other than that, I'm not really a Final Fantasy guy. I play Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts.
It is 10. Okay, chat room's confirming. It's 10.
It is 10.
So you had like a card game, and you'd like earn cards in the game, and then you would like have them fight each other, or whatever. And it was like, I mean, I guess all Final Fantasies kind of do this, where they have this like kind of side game. But it's interesting to have a game like Madden do it.
The most recent Witcher had that too. It had Gwent, the card game, which was incredibly deep.
Yes, it was. I actually, that was probably my favorite part of the first few hours I played of Witcher, was when I got to play that game.
Yeah.
And now that I look back, I think Fable 2 or 3 had one too.
So what kind of rewards do you get in Madden? Like,
so you get items to complete, cards, or new cards, new players.
Okay, so it just feeds that game mode. It doesn't like feed the other game mode. Like
no, it's a standalone game mode. You earn gold from doing objectives, and you can use that to buy packs. You can use that to buy players on the auction house. They have an auction house, so cards are tradable, and you can trade cards directly without paying gold for them. So they have a couple features, and those have been in the game since it launched with it. But this new mode I found really interesting, and it added one more layer to something that, right when I was done with Madden, they started adding all this, and it kind of brought me back in.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Did you guys play Red Dead Redemption? Anybody
That
else?
is my favorite game of last generation.
Yeah, so I remember when I first got that, and I like have this game that's super awesome, and I'm like riding around on a horse, and then I spend like 3 hours playing poker in a saloon. Like, what am I doing? That like the 5-fingered knife game or whatever.
Yeah,
where
the
you,
knife
like,
game.
stab with your fingers?
Didn't they also have liar's dice in that game, or am I
Yeah,
thinking
they had
of
liar's dice.
they
They had all sorts of weird stuff in there, but yeah, I was like doing it. I was like, I could just play online poker if I wanted to play poker right now.
But you're not Marston when you're doing it online, Dills. You're just Dills.
Doesn't have that sweet Western theme on it.
Yeah, exactly. The poker
Now I
chips
want to play
on
that
roll.
game again. All right, Steve, here we go.
Why the hell did that game not ever come out on PC? Because
Did it really not?
it never did.
Damn it.
Never did. I want to say every other damn Rockstar game has.
Yeah.
Is there another Rockstar game that hasn't come out on PC?
Even the first Red Dead didn't.
Oh, huh.
Damn it. Yeah, it's not out on. All
Yeah,
right.
no.
Weak.
I've still got my 360 and my copy of that pretty much for that only reason. The only reason at all is because I every now and then I want to revisit that game.
Yeah, the last time I actually played that game, I pulled it out on my PS3 and I just rode around on a horse for a while, and it was so fun.
It was
Like
such
the
a
feeling when you're riding around, it feels like you're actually like out in the plains and like critters are running by and stuff.
man. They nailed the world and the wildlife. No game did wildlife like that. At least at that time, I remember just being like, "Oh man, I just got jacked by a bobcat and it's awesome." Shit, I'm dead.
Did you play Gun, the release title
No.
for the 360? It had some of the same things that Red Dead did, but Red Dead took it further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Gun was really fun, but I never tried it. I was like, am I going to play another Western game, or am I fine with the one? Like, I'll just do the one.
I really like Grand Theft Auto. Like, I have nothing against it, but because of Red Dead Redemption, every time a GTA gets announced, I'm disappointed because I just want another Red Dead game.
But Marston can be your dad in GTA Online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's one of the selectable people.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
I just finally, like now with this new computer, I had GTA 5 on this computer, and it played so bad on my laptop. And so I loaded it up last night and was playing it, and I was like, God, this is fun. I miss
I'll have
this.
to add you on Steam.
Oh, yeah, man. We got to do it. We got to get it on. Play some online.
Woo! Well, Sparky, man, thank you for calling in.
Yep. All right. See you tomorrow, Dills.
Sorry,
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Sorry,
I'll
we're
probably get down to the yard. I'm thinking like 4:30ish or 5. I'm gonna leave work a little early. So I don't know. Whenever you can get there, you know the place I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The little outdoor place across the cove.
Yep.
Sweet.
I love
All right,
that
man,
we're
I'll
getting
see you there.
really personal inside baseball planning for Dills' life right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're all So me, Sparky, and all the guys from Torturecast are all going to the game tomorrow, thanks to Sparky. So
That's awesome.
it's gonna be really fun. And we're gonna they have this new like outdoor area with like a beer garden and really good food, and you can play cornhole and hang out and just drink beer before the game, and that's what we're gonna do. It's
Man,
really
I wish
What's,
listeners would get us like tickets to Bucks games with teams I actually want to go see. That'd be amazing. Which, by the way, if anyone has tickets to Bucks versus Bears, get in touch with me, please. Sorry, go ahead, Jocelyn.
I was gonna ask what cornholing?
cornhole.
You never play
Yeah,
cornhole?
what is
No,
that?
it's not cornholing.
Oh, okay.
Totally different thing. Totally different
Yeah,
thing.
cornhole is like that frat guy game where you throw the beanbags into the hole on the board.
You've
I
never
guess it hasn't reached Canada yet.
you've never played cornhole, Jocelyn?
What?
You've never played cornhole?
No.
Okay, so you get in like late Thursday night before my wedding. We're gonna all be partying that night, kind of having like a joint bachelorette party. So we're gonna have to go find a bar that has cornhole because what the hell?
They have this at bars?
Cut holes in
Yes!
pieces of plywood.
Yeah.
It's basically like horseshoes, but with beanbags and a wooden
And a hole
little
in a piece of
box with
plywood.
a hole in it. Yeah.
Did someone
So you
just
get points
decide
if your
to do that
bag.
because horseshoes when you were drinking was just like way too dangerous?
No, they probably just didn't want
like,
to
oh, we
drive a
should
stake
give them
into the
heavy
ground.
metal things.
I don't know. How did baseball get
Have a
invented? Why are we
beanbag.
having this discussion, Jocelyn? Why is anything anything?
Yeah. Seriously, why? Why are we, Jocelyn? Why are we?
Why do I feel?
But yeah, that's fun. If you get your little beanbag to like land on the box and stay, then you get like a 1 point. And if it goes into the hole, it's like 3 points or something. It's awesome. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's perfectly. I am not a coordinated individual, and I enjoy cornhole from time to time.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
so we will
I
have
look
to.
forward to playing cornhole with you guys.
Hell, we
You're
have.
gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
You know what this is going to end up being? This is going to end up like there's going to be photos on Twitter of us playing cornhole at my wedding. That's because we have I know my parents have a cornhole set, so
Sweet.
this will be interesting. But again, Sparky, thanks, man. Have a good one.
See you, dude.
Looks like we have one more caller, so I'm just going to pull him in real fast, even though we're over time. Hello, Ryan. Can you hear us? I'm not sure again. Can you hear us, Ryan?
Hello?
Hey.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey, awesome.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I had the other thing going. You guys can hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you just fine.
Welcome, sir.
Awesome, there you are. Thanks for taking my call. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Like, seriously, this is probably my fourth time calling, and I've never gotten through. This is amazing talking to you guys right now.
I'm glad I took it, man.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
that's all the time we got. We'll see you next time. Oh, sorry.
Thank you for telling us. It's awesome. Goes into the outro.
First of all, I just wanted to say, you guys' podcast, people have said it before, it's amazing. Seriously, like it's so awesome just to watch you guys on Monday nights, Tuesday mornings. If I don't catch you for the live one, I listen to it on my way to work. It's amazing. I love it.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Seriously. Thank you.
I wanted to call. I got two things for you. The first one is a little idea for you guys, something you might enjoy doing on the show sometime. I know you guys in the past, you guys did like arena draft. People really enjoyed those. I think a while ago you guys did like even like a card creation thing, I want to say, or like you guys have discussed like making cards and what certain cards should be.
Yeah.
We definitely, we've talked the ins and outs and like what we think some changes should be and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you guys think of sometime if someone suggested like a certain deck type that doesn't really exist in the meta, and you guys tried to make that deck live on stream?
We did talk about doing this once, didn't we? And we never actually did it. Weren't we going to do that about,
I think
like,
right at the beginning of TGT or something. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't it like, oh, let's build the Angry Chicken deck? Like, not like with an Angry Chicken, but like our deck, and we'll tweak it from week to week and check in on it.
I can't remember why we didn't end up doing this idea, but it's a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We definitely should. We got slotted in.
Probably because you crapped all over it, Dills. Jeez.
Probably.
But I just think it'd be cool if someone was like, hey, try to build like, like an Inspire Warrior, or do like, aggro Priest, and just see what you guys, how you discuss about it, how you talk about certain cards, what to toss, what to keep. I don't know, it'd be a cool idea.
That would be.
The other thing,
So,
That'd be. I feel like that would lean towards being better as like video only content, so we could actually like take it out and like play 3 games with it and see how it does.
but we are talking about adding some more stuff like that. So I think this is a great idea, man. I dig it.
Cool.
Yeah, I like
The
that
other thing
too.
I wanted to kind of throw to you guys is I know, Jocelyn, you've done the Joss to Legend things a number of times. And what was your highest rank? Was it 2 or 3 you got to?
3 is the highest I've ever reached.
Okay. I was in a similar boat where I kind of always end up around rank 5 at the end of each season, And back in June, I really tried to push it. I made this really awesome a Dragon Druid deck, actually. Got me all the way to rank 2, surprisingly enough. And then I just plummeted to rank 7. And it was like this huge, like, crushing defeat. I was like, oh, no. I hate this game. But then what I started doing was I started kind of going, you know what? If Legend happens someday, that's great. But I'm just going to be pretty much a purely for fun player from here on out. And so I wanted to like throw some cool deck ideas for you and for the other listeners, for anyone who's looking for some just fun decks just to play around, but decks that will still do pretty well on ladder. First one I want to mention to you guys, there's something I have called Double Handlock Priest. And what it is basically it's a deck that utilizes things like both your Mountain Giants and Clockwork Giants and things like Goblin Sapper. And basically it's not a fatigue deck, but it basically fills up both players' hands so that you just have so many things that you always have the optimal play some way. Really fun deck to play.
Okay. That's
interesting.
What I'm doing right now is it's actually a Ball of Spiders Hunter deck.
Oh, nice.
And when TGT was released or announced, I remember when that Firebat deck he had in the exhibition match had that Ball of Spiders, and everyone was like, "Oh, this card is terrible. What were they thinking? It should have been like 2 mana less." But I've got a deck right now. It's weighing at rank 5 that has Ball of Spiders in it. It has 2 Ball of Spiders in it, and it utilizes just being a late game Hunter deck. If you want to look it up, it's on Hearthstone. It's called Spider Balls.
All
Just
right.
look it up.
That's
Ryan.
nice.
Spider Ball.
It's
That's amazing.
actually
I'm in.
It's a really good card in Arena because Arena tends to get to like that late game and you draw 3 cards, and generally they're cards that synergize somewhat with each other because they're all beasts, right? So I actually pick Ball of Spiders a lot in Arena, but I've never tried it in Constructed, and that sounds super awesome. So I'll give it a go for sure.
You gotta give it a try. And then the last one I'll throw out for you guys right now. I made an Egg Paladin deck. And it will get you to rank 5 as well. I've played it, tested it, it'll get you there. And basically it uses all the buff spells that Paladins use, plus your typical Nerubian Egg and your Dragon Egg. And it just creates this, not really a zoo deck, but kind of a zoo deck, you know, for the Paladin equivalent.
Yeah.
One of the most fun decks you'll find, if you go on Hearthstone and look up Eggadin, you'll find it there. Absolute blast.
I can
I
actually
love how
see that.
every Paladin deck is just a din at the end of it.
It has to be, right? It has to be.
Yeah,
I can totally see that too, because you can also do things like Cog Hammer, and you can give them taunt, you know, so even if you can't buff them, you can still force the opponent to have to get through and get your 4/4 out. So that's pretty cool. I did have at one point an Ancient Watcher Paladin deck with Cog Hammer that actually was pretty good too, because that was like the sickest opener ever. You would play turn 2 Ancient Watcher, and then turn 3 Cog Hammer. You'd basically have like a Sunwalker on board on turn 3. And they could just never get through it. But dude, that's great. I love hearing about people's cool fun decks.
For sure, man. That's like all I do now is just find interesting fun decks. Like it's always weird because whenever a new expansion comes out, there's always cards that I look at and I'm like, that card looks amazing. There's gotta be some way to use it that no one ever uses it. Like 2 seasons ago, I made an Unleash the Wisps deck, and it was based on the card, what was it, Dark Whispers in a Druid deck. And it was straight up that. And one of the best moments I had with that was, you remember that Nose Dormu glitch there used to be where if you had too many animations, it would skip the other person's turn?
Yep.
And I was playing around rank 7 or 6, I want to say, and the opponent, probably just as BM, they played a Nose Dormu. I played, like, just kind of finished the game off very quickly on the next turn. They had lethal, but they were just, spamming. And so what I did was I played Knife Juggler, Unleash the Wisps, and each time a wisp appears, the animation for the little wisps flying around triggers. It skips his turn completely, and I won the very next.
Oh, that's amazing!
Nicely done.
That's
one of
actually
stories.
Dank Whispers was my Dark Whispers deck.
I remember that.
That was like one of the funnest decks, man. I remember I made it as a total joke, and then I went on like a 10-game win streak with it, and I was like, "What? This works!"
Wisp OP. It's right up there with Eye for an Eye.
Yep.
Well,
I
Ryan,
implore everybody, find a way to make these cool cards work. They do work.
I want you, Ryan. I want you to double down on this. So I want you. It's the end of the season now, so it's okay to get weird. I want you at the beginning of October season to hit whatever rank you end up at, starting off with Spider Balls, and I expect a tweet to report on it. Okay. I want to know how it's going.
If I don't get absolutely sick of playing Hunter, because I actually hate playing Hunter usually. I'm a Paladin and Mage main.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I'll see how I can get it next season.
Sweet. Well, thanks for calling in, Ryan. Everyone, go check out Eggadin and Spider Balls.
Yeah.
Eggadin and Spider Balls. Look it up on Hearthstone. Fun decks, and they're pretty good, actually.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
All right, man.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this month's call-in episode. Thanks again, patrons, so much, because this... we always say you guys help the show happen. This specific episode just straight up wouldn't exist without you. So thank you. And if you're listening to this on the feed or whatever, and you're like, well, what is this Patreon thing? Well, you head on over to patreon.com/TAC. Check it out. If you enjoy the show, that's a way you can support it. So thanks again, everyone. No long outro because this is for the patrons. So thank you, guys. Follow me on Twitter at GarrettArt. Follow Dills at WillADills. Follow Jocelyn at JossPlays. Have a good one, everyone. Job's done.
Well done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!